Welcome to the Microsoft Teams tutorial video. By the end of this tutorial video, you will understand what Microsoft Teams is all about, how to create and add members to a team, and how to communicate within Teams environment. In this section, you will learn what Microsoft Teams is, how to launch Teams, how to navigate through the Teams interface, and how to set up and manage a new team. So what is Microsoft Teams? Teams is a collaborative, cloud-based workspace where Office 365 users can send messages, share files, create meetings, and much more. Teams can be created for many different purposes. For example, as teachers, we can create a team for a class. We can also create a team for a department or even a project or group. Each team normally has access to channels, which are places where people can share messages, have meetings, share files, and much more. A team can either be a public team accessible to all, or a private team accessible only to those members of the team. You can be a part of as many teams as you like, and you can join and leave teams as you see fit. Teams also provides additional communication tools such as chats, meetings, allows us to share files, etc. So how do we start teams? You can start teams from an icon in the Office 365 homepage. We as teachers do have the Office 365 account, or our FAC accounts that have been provided by the Ministry of Education. So after we log into our FAC accounts, Teams will be one of the applications that is available for our use. We can also access Teams directly in a web browser by typing teams.microsoft.com into the search bar, or we can download the Teams app either for desktop or mobile. The image shows what the Teams interface looks like. We can see that there are various aspects that allow us to manage our movement through the Teams environment. We have the ability to create chats, to search for teams. We have the ability to go back to our 365 profile. We also have the sidebar, which gives us access to the different features of Teams. For example, the chats, teams, assignments, calendars, calls, and files. The related content to these different areas will be displayed in the main window area. The lower part of the sidebar contains icons that gives us access to the various other applications that are available to us through our 365 account. It also provides us with the ability to ask help in the Microsoft environment. We also see that the interface contains a contextual task pane, which shows commands related to the current activity that we are working in. For example, in the image, we are working in the Teams environment, and as such, commands related to that will be displayed in the contextual pane. In this example, the join or create team. So how do we create a new team? First of all, we must ensure that the Teams icon is selected from the sidebar. We then have the ability to create a new team by selecting the Create Team option. If that is not available, we first need to click Add Team in the contextual pane. When you have selected the Create Team option, you will then be prompted to choose the type of team you want to create. As was stated before, Teams has the ability to create different types of teams. We can have a class team, which contains features that allows teachers to use this as a classroom management tool. It has a professional learning community team, which has features that allow educators to collaborate. It has a staff team, which is used for school administration and development, and an other team, which can be used for many other areas, for example, groups or projects. Once you have selected the type of team you want to create, click Next. A dialog box will then be presented to you. In this dialog box, we are required to insert the information about the team that we want to create. The top of the dialog box contains a description of the team type selected. In the main part of the dialog box, you need to enter the team's name and an optional description. You can then also set the team's privacy. As was stated earlier, public teams allow anyone in your organization to join, while private teams require an invitation or approval to be members of the team. You can also create a new team from an existing template, and to do so, you simply click the Create a Team using Existing Team as Template option. As can be seen, in this example, we have created a professional learning community team. We then enter the name of the team, in this case, OER Training Test. We didn't put in any description, and we leave it as a private team that only the owners of the team can add members. We will then be prompted to add members to this OER Training Test team. You can add people, groups, and distribution lists. This makes team creation very easy. You can also skip this process at this point and complete it later on after we have created the team. To begin adding a member to the team, we simply begin by typing a person's name into the name bar area. As we type, suggestions will be displayed, and in our case, these suggestions will be any teacher who has affiliation to the Ministry of Education and the relevant Office 365 accounts. If the name is there, you will simply select that name and click Add. They will then be added to this team. As each person is added, they will receive an email in their FAC account stating that they were added to this OER Training Test team. Repeat this process for all of the members that you want to add to this team. When you are finished, simply click Close. The team will now be created, and there will be a default channel General displayed. Remember, a channel is a central location where users can communicate with each other. By default, a general channel is created for team-wide announcements and communications. Users can create their own channels for different topics if necessary. When new channels are created, all team members will be added to all these channels. If at the point of creating your team, you skipped that option of adding members, you can still add these team members after team creation. First of all, we ensure again that the team icon is selected from the sidebar. We then click on the three ellipses next to the team name. A menu will then be displayed, and from this menu you choose Add Member. This will then take you to the Add Member screen, and you simply follow the steps as described before to add a new team member. In this menu, you will also notice that there are other team management functions. For example, we can manage the team, we can add a channel, we could leave the team, or edit the team. In this section, you will then learn how to post, edit, reply to, and delete messages. You'll also learn how to expand the Compose box to access additional options, and also how to add files to messages. Messaging is the team's main communication feature. And you will find many message creation features such as mentions and emojis that are similar to other web-based messaging apps. How do we post a message? To post a message, we simply click inside the compose box, which is located in the lower part of the screen. Type our message and either press enter when finished or click the arrow to send. Once you have created and sent your message, it will appear in the channel and it will be visible to all members of the team. There may be occasions, though, where we may want to send a message to only one specific member of the team. To accomplish this, we use something called mentions. You type the @ symbol and then the member's name to whom you want to send a message. Again, suggestions will be presented to you and you can select the name as guided. You type the message after as normal and press enter or the arrow to send. This message will only now be visible to the person to whom you have addressed the message to. We can also use the same @ symbol to send announcements which can be sent to a chosen team, a channel, or a group. Expanding the compose box. Let's take a closer look at the commands below the compose box. There are commands that allow us to expand the compose box, which provides us with the opportunity to have more formatting features of the message that we are sending. We can also add a file to a message by simply clicking the paperclip. We can insert emojis, we can insert GIFs, as well as stickers into our messages. We also have the ability to start a meeting or a video or audio call. And we can also access content from other sources, such as news and Wikipedia articles. How do we reply to a message that has been sent to us? We simply click the reply link that appears below the given message. When we click reply, the compose box window will be open to us. We type the reply and we send by either pressing enter or the arrow. The reply will now be visible in the channel under the original message. If after we have sent a message, we realize there is a typographical error, Teams gives us the ability to edit the message and resend a corrected message. To do this, we need to simply move the mouse over the message and then click the 3 ellipses in the right corner above the message. A menu will be displayed, one of the options there being edit. We simply click edit, the compose box will reopen and we'll be able to edit our message. And then again, we press enter or use the arrow to send. We also notice that there are other options available to perform on our message from this menu. For example, we can delete it. We can mark it as unread. We could copy it. We could share the message. Teams has many other tools that make it valuable as a communication and collaboration tool. In this section, you will learn how to use chats and manage meetings in Teams. How do we start a chat? We can start a chat in 2 ways. We either click the chat icon in the sidebar or click the new chat icon in the top bar. Either option opens up the chat window. We then enter the name of the person to whom we want to begin the chat. Again, suggestions will be presented. We choose the correct name and then type the message in the compose box below and press enter or the arrow to send. When you receive a message, you will see a pop-up notification as well as a badge next to the chat icon in the sidebar. The badge icon also gives an indication of how many new messages we would have received since we last checked. We either click the notification to go to the message, or if the notification is not present, you click the bolded item, which indicates that the message was new. You can now view the message and again make replies using the compose box. We may want to add multiple people to a chat. To do this, we simply click the Add People icon in the top right-hand corner of the chat window. We enter the user's names and we click Add. A new message window will then be created and we can create and send our message as usual. One of the most important features of Teams is using it as a meeting place. To schedule a meeting from within a chat message, we click the Schedule Meeting icon. The new meeting window will open where we can enter the details of the meeting. For example, the meeting title, the date, time of the meeting, etc. When we have entered this, we click Send. The meeting will be created and information will be sent to the attendees we have chosen. We then click Close in the confirmation dialog. We can start calls in two ways. We can either select the calls icon from the sidebar, or we can select the audio or video call icon in a chat message. If we selected the calls icon on the sidebar, to make a call, we click the space under Make a Call, add the person's name to whom you want to make that call. Again, suggestions will be presented to you, and then choose either an audio or a video call icon. The call will then be placed. If the person is able to answer, they will, and you carry on your conversation using your audio and speaker options. We can schedule meetings to send to specific people or to post to specific channels by using the calendar. You first need to select the calendar icon from the sidebar. This will bring up the calendar. Choose your date and time for the meeting from in the calendar. The new meeting window will come up. In this window, you enter the meeting details. For example, the meeting title. Choose the attendees. The date and time will already be entered. You can also choose the channel to which you want this meeting to be posted. When you have completed entering all the details, you click Send. The meeting window will close and the calendar will come back up. The meeting will be created and it will then appear on the calendar. A message will be sent to the attendees you chose to inform them of the meeting, and it will also be created within the channel that you chose. It will also be posted to the attendees' calendar so that they can join from their calendar, and they may also receive reminders about the meeting. We may also copy the link from the meeting to send directly to our attendees via WhatsApp messages. If we wanted to edit a meeting, for example, the date or time for the meeting, we can edit this meeting by simply clicking on the meeting in the calendar, making the changes when the meeting window comes up, and then clicking Send Update. Attendees can join the meeting either from the calendar or from the channel to which it was posted. They simply have to click Join from either area. When you click Join, you will be taken to a window where you can ensure the settings for your camera and microphone are okay. Once everything is set, you click Join Now. You will then be placed into the meeting. When the meeting is finished, you click the red icon to hang up and leave. This brings us to the end of this short tutorial video on using Microsoft Teams. I do hope that you feel confident enough now to use Microsoft Teams. Thank you for your attention.